Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your January 2023 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. There will also be a timestamp in the description box so that you can bypass shuffling should you choose to do so. We are going to be going through a lot of information for this month, Virgo, so please remember to take what resonates and leave the rest, because this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, okay? Let's jump right in and see what you've got going on for you this month. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about Virgo's theme for January 2023, please. Okay, thank you. Tell us, what does Virgo need to know to start the year off in alignment? What does Virgo need to know to start the year off in alignment, please? Okay, thank you. What opportunities for expansion does Virgo have this month, please? Okay, thank you. Tell us, please, what does Virgo's soul want them to know this month? Okay. And what does God want Virgo to remember this month, please? Thank you. Okay, Virgo, so I have to pause for a second. Okay, I have to pause for a second because my throat, like, I feel like my throat is all like scratchy. Like I feel yeah, like I feel like I need to clear my throat, right? And I feel like this could have something to do with, I feel like there could be things that are on your mind or things that you want to say or something that needs to be done to clear the air. Now, I don't know if this is clearing the air in regards to yourself, right? So like accepting or acknowledging things about yourself, or if this is in regards to other situations or people, which it kind of, my throat just kind of like went a little bit more raspy even when I started talking about people or situations. Yeah, can you hear it? I don't know if you guys can hear it. But that tells me, Virgo, that, oh my gosh, I feel like y'all have some things you need to get off your chest. Um, I don't know who this is for or what this is in regards to, but I definitely feel like there's a need to clear the air. A need to clear the air. I don't know. Take it if it resonates with you, and I feel like if it does, right? I feel like if it's meant for you, you'll know. Because I feel like this is something that you absolutely have thought about. This is something you may have even dreamt about. Perhaps you've prayed about it, meditated on it, journaled about it, talked to other people about it, right? Sought support for this thing or about this thing, right? Advice. Maybe you have even had readings done on this particular thing. Personal readings perhaps. Or sought readings to answer this or to remedy it or whatever the case may be, to figure out how to navigate it, right? But I just feel like there's something that you guys are holding on to that you are absolutely aware of that needs to be acknowledged, right? And whether that's your own acknowledgement of the situation or relationship or whatever, behavior, habit, whatever it is, truth, or if it's the acknowledgement around those things in regards to another person or a situation, right? Whatever it is. Okay, let's get some clarity for you. Tell us more, please, about Virgo's theme for January 2023. And, I just want to say, like, that may not resonate with everyone, right? Like, that may only resonate with a few people. I just want to make that clear. So if you don't resonate with that, it doesn't mean that this isn't your reading. It doesn't mean that there may not be additional or rather information in here for you, right? That's just something that I felt coming through. Okay, what Tell us, please, more about what Virgo needs to know to start the year off in alignment. Tell us more, please, about what Virgo, thank you. Tell us more, please, about Virgo's opportunities for expansion this month. Okay. Thank you. Tell us more, please, about what Virgo's soul would like them to know for January 2023. Tell us more about what Virgo's soul would like them to know for January 2023, please. Okay, thank you. Tell us more, please, about what God wants Virgo to remember this month. Okay, thank you. All right, Virgo, let's jump in. So your theme for this month of Virgo is Lumerian seed codes, embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, and living with grace. Okay. So for some of you, I feel like there's something here, and I'm not exactly sure what this is in regards to, but it feels to me like there's something here for some of you about, I mean, really the best way to say it is like, give yourself a break, right? Like, I feel like some of you may have been frustrated recently, right? And maybe this is closing out 2022, right? Maybe you felt that way closing out 2022, or, you know, at the start of this year or something, right? But I feel like for some of you, you felt frustrated. I feel like fear has been something that has been lingering for many of you. Pardon me. I feel like I don't feel like these are like, how do I word this? I really want to be very intentional about how I say this, because fear is absolutely a choice. I want to make that very clear. It is a choice. But I feel like for some of you, you've felt like you've had no control over these fears, or they're fears that are, or feel rather, quite large or daunting, or you know, like this big black cloud, so to speak. And so I feel like there's something here for you to say as you move through this month, like, give yourself a break. I feel like for some of you, the fear and the anxiety around the fear is so, it's like so immense that you guys, I'm just going to be honest, okay? I feel like some of you are carrying these things that are creating fears and anxieties and stresses and burden, right, on you, overwhelm. And I'm actually seeing like, I'm seeing it weigh on your shoulders, so much so that I'm being shown it in the form of a person whose shoulders are very slumped over, right? Their back is very curved, very hunched down, right? They're not standing with their back straight, or their shoulders, you know, level, or you know, what is the word? Yes, level, like with the ground, right? They're very slumped over. Their shoulders are very turned in. Their back is curved. Their neck is down. And this is, I feel like it's because Virgo, like whoever this resonates with, you're carrying all of these things that I feel you're just not supposed to be carrying. Right. And again, I don't know that this is for everybody, but I just feel like there's somebody out there who needs to hear this. Like, there are things you need to put down. You really, really need to put them down, because I feel like some of the things that you're carrying, and by the way, I'm not a doctor. I'm not. I'm just a girl on YouTube, so I cannot and do not give medical advice. But I feel like some of you, these things that you're carrying are literally making you sick. Literally making you sick. You can take that how it resonates. Don't pick it up if it's not for you, right? But, and I feel like you would know this, Virgo, right? Because I feel like if this is for you, I feel like you would be like, you would have all of these lists of things that are stressing you out, that are overwhelming you, that you feel like you are trying to keep your head above and you're struggling to do that, right? And then I feel like subsequently you feel like shit, like all the time. Right? Or suddenly having like an influx of health problems, or something like that, right? Like, I just feel like you'll know if that's for you. So there's an element here of like, give yourself a break. Give yourself the grace to like just be a human being. Right? Like there are things, Virgo, that you are not meant to be carrying. There are things that you're meant to experience, put down, and move on from. Right? Like let God carry the burden of that. You're just supposed to carry the lesson. Right? So it's like, stop picking all the shit up. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, Virgo. I say this with so much love, right? But I'm not going to hold back what I feel coming through for those that are meant to see this. Why do you feel like you have to carry everything? Why do you feel like you have to pick up every little thing and put it in your backpack and carry it? Everything. Why? You're not meant to do that. You are not meant to carry all the things. You're not meant to pick up all the things and put them all in your backpack. There are things that God is meant to carry. And I feel like that's why there's this element of like, the weight. It is literally, I feel, for some of you, that weight that you are carrying on your shoulders is why you're hunkered down, you're slouched over, and you're not standing erect or upright or look confident, right? Because you're carrying all of this weight, and it is literally like smushing you down to the ground. It's literally smothering you, squishing the life out of you. And I feel like these are things that need to be put down. They need to be put down. I don't know how that is remedied for you personally in your situation, right? But I mean, pray about it, meditate on it, journal on it, right? Ask questions, get quiet, find a modality that will allow you to put down some of these things. Maybe it's seeing, a mental health professional, whatever it is for you, Virgo. And I'm not saying these things out of, like trying to tell you what to do. What I feel is like, I can feel that soul crushing weight, and feeling that I want you, like I want to help you. I mean, as a healer, as an empath, like I want to help you, right? And whatever path or modality that works for you, do that. But please just stop carrying this. Like, why? Figure out why you feel like you have to carry all the things. Like, are you punishing yourself? Do you feel guilty for something? Do you feel like if you're not carrying the things that you don't have any value, or you're not worthy, or like, what is it? What is it? Figure that out and start making moves from that space to heal, so that you're not just picking up all these things all the time and literally making yourself sick over and over and over again. Again, take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna read the book here for this card for you guys, because I just feel like there could be something in here for someone. And I also want to say, the fact that you feel things, Virgo, does not make you bad, right? It doesn't make you weak. I don't know who that's for. I feel like I need to say that. Like, there's that critical type of energy coming through, that perfectionist type of energy coming through, in the sense of like, I don't know, I just shouldn't be affected by those things. Why the hell not? Because society told you that? Why? Why should you not be affected by your emotions, Virgo? You're a human being. We all have emotions. Why should you not be affected by them? I'm just saying. Let's read this card. Okay, so again, consider the fact that this is in regards to the theme of the month for you. Let me find, if I can find it. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's read the message here. You are a highly sensitive being. You might feel that this is a curse, but this card is here to let you know that it is a gift. It indicates that you have spent lifetimes upon lifetimes living with a giant shield up to stop the world seeing the real you. But you are a highly unique soul with incredible gifts that are worth sharing. Through embracing your uniqueness, you can help many others embrace their own. This lifetime is a more graceful existence with less defense and more trust. It's not about protecting yourself, but stepping into the space of surrender and revealing your true self. So, I would say here, and it kind of goes without saying though, Virgo, this month for you is about really getting comfortable with who you really are. And I don't mean who you are like who you tell people you are, because we can all see that. But who you are when you're by yourself. Okay? And again, and I don't mean what you would tell people you are by yourself. No, 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 sweets. I mean how you really, truly feel in the depth, in the pit of who you are. Getting comfortable with that. Like it's that raw, in the mud and muck truth. Right? That's hard to do, by the way. Right? I'm not saying it's going to be easy. But what I'm saying is I feel like it's about getting comfortable with that part of yourself and learning to accept and acknowledge all of the facets of who you are. Like, I just want to say, personally, from my own experience, I think it is absolutely beautiful. And it's not even a sufficient word, if I'm being quite honest. But I think it's absolutely beautiful when there is someone who can stand strong in their vulnerability, knowing that they are a feeling being, who can navigate them and not fear them. Right? I think it's incredible. And it's interesting, right? Because I feel like a good example of this, in a way, could be Jordan Peterson. I don't know if any of you have ever seen him or watched any of his speeches or his lectures or anything like that, or interviews. But I've seen several where he's talking about things and he gets emotional and he doesn't try to hide from that. He doesn't try to stop himself from being emotional. He is emotional, like he just tries to navigate it. He tries to respond to his emotions and to move through them. And I think that's so beautiful, right? Some people may say, oh, like that's so feminine of you to be able to be in your emotions. Like, whatever. We're human beings. We're all emotional. Shush. That's nonsense to me. It is beautiful that as a human being, male or female, right? It wouldn't matter to me what he was, can navigate his emotions and be vulnerable and be okay with it, right? To respond to them versus running from them or reacting to them. And I feel like this is part of where you're at, Virgo, right? Learning how to navigate those things and learning how to move through those things and experience the truth of who you are. Because for some of you, I don't even know if you know. Like, and I say that with so much love because I've been there. I've been there, right? But I don't even know if you know the true depths of yourself, because I feel like for some of you, you've run from it for so long that, you've just adapted this way of being and you're like, okay, this is me now. Like, I don't have any other choice. It's either this or I succumb to all the things. All right. So, wow, you have here the 8 of Wands in the reverse, which means that this month for you could feel slow, Virgo. It could feel slow moving, right? I feel like, yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you, Lord, for that. I feel like it might feel slow moving for you, Virgo, because I feel like it's meant to. I feel like it's meant to feel slow so that you can take the time to get quiet and to navigate yourself, right? And some people may not take this opportunity, right? But I do feel like that slow feeling movement isn't for you to try to find things to keep yourself busy or to try to make the time pass quicker. No, it's for you to slow the F down. It's for you to be able to, like, I really feel, Virgo, for some of you, it is about slowing the F down so that you can feel your emotions and process and and acknowledge, right? So I feel like this month could feel very slow for you. And maybe that stirs some panic, right? Because I feel like you want to be busy. I feel like it's like, if I have time to think about shit, oh God, we can't do that. Right? Like, that's, I don't know who that's for, but that's the message I'm getting. So, you know, I feel like it's purposeful. Like, I feel like God is like, no, sweets, we gotta deal with this. You gotta learn how to navigate these things. Like, even as I'm talking to you guys, like, my shoulder, especially my right, like my right shoulder nearest my spine is really bothering me, which that could resonate for some of you Virgos who are of feminine energy. Okay, right side is feminine typically. So you know, this could be for those that are feminine energies, or maybe you're female, right? I don't know, but it just that shoulder pain, man, like it's so uncomfortable. It's like, I don't know, like I just want to rub it out. Like I want to, you know, massage it out. And I feel like that's part of, like, you know, that you're like wanting to put it down, right? Like wanting to not carry it. You also have Temperance here. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing about this Temperance card, right? First of all, you're being asked or reminded or encouraged to have patience with yourself as you move through this month, right? And I feel like this is about bringing things back into balance as well, which is an energy of this Temperance. I feel like that balance comes from, because again, like I said, I feel like you're slunched down. I feel like you're carrying a lot of things, right? And I feel like for some, again, there's this like, if I start to feel the things, like the whole world's gonna flip on its head because I don't know how to navigate it at all, right? And so I feel like the whole point of the theme for this month for you is to bring these things back into balance, because it's like, Virgo, we can't have you, like, it's not healthy for you or anyone else to be running around on a fuse, on a very short fuse. And that's what happens when we hold on to a lot of things or carry a lot of things or just move through life in a state of overwhelm. We're on this short fuse, and like it's almost like nobody knows when the trigger could get pulled, not even you, right? And all it could take is for one moment where you don't have the strength to push down all the things, right? It's like it becomes too forceful, and then all of a sudden it's out, you lash out, and things are just absolutely batshit nuts, right? And you do things and say things that you would never have said, right? So I feel like it's about bringing that back into balance so that you don't step out of it in that way, right? And of course, this is if this resonates with you. And if it doesn't, fine, don't pick it up. But I definitely feel like there's an element here for you, Virgo, of taking your time, slowing things down, being patient with yourself, and bringing things back into balance this month, right? And it's interesting because on this Temperance card here, if you can see, there's a fire, right? Flame, and then water droplets, right? So that's emotions and energy, right? It's balancing those things out, because those emotions can fuel that fire. You guys, I'm telling you, nothing comes from nothing. So, you know, another thing about this Temperance card is, you know, it's that energy of finding meaning. And, you know, I feel like for some of you, you've probably asked the question, which I mean, many people have, right? Um, why, right? Like, why me? Why, you know, trying to find the meaning to why you've experienced what you've experienced or endured what you've endured, right? And the thing of it is, Virgo, if you can start to look at this from a perspective, if you haven't already, if you can start to look at this from a perspective of Why is this happening for me? What is this trying to show me? What is it trying to teach me? What am I meant to be learning? If you can look at it from that perspective, right? Instead of looking at it as like a punishment or, yeah, and I'm getting fear coming up too as well here. So yeah, looking at it, instead of looking at it as like a punishment or something to that degree, right? It helps to, how do I word it? It's like, helps to make things make more sense, right? And I'm only saying that because I've experienced this myself. So I'm not just preaching to you things I know nothing about, right? I've experienced some really traumatic things in my life, and I've had to alchemize those by finding how it was helpful for me, how it has helped to mold me into who I am currently. And who I am currently is someone I'm quite proud of. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I feel is going on here with this theme. You also have Son of Pentacles or Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. And that Knight of Pentacles in the reverse is really like working without reward. So again, it's about putting down these things because you're carrying around things that there's no point. There's no point in carrying them around, Virgo. And I'm sorry to say it in that way, and that may be very triggering for some of you, but there's no point in carrying it around. Literally, the Knight of Pentacles is working without reward. And I feel like this is showing you this, right? Showing you like trying to keep the fact that you are a sensitive feeling being, that you have emotions, that shit is hard, that you can't carry everything all the time. Like, that's how you like that it's normal. Right? And so you trying to do that is like you're working for no point. There's no reward there. All you're doing is creating more suffering for yourself by carrying things that you're not meant to be carrying anyways. And I mean, maybe this is for like a very few specific people, right? Maybe there won't be a whole lot of people who see this. I don't know, Virgo, but it really feels to me, and I want to say lovingly, there have been several readings that I've done for you recently, right, through the tail end of 2022, at the very least, where it's been this energy of like, give yourself a break, right? Um, on the flip side of this, though, if you're like, okay, that's totally not me, right? I feel like for those that don't resonate with the last, I don't know, 30 freaking minutes of what I've been talking about, um, I feel like this could be something where you're actually just learning how to embrace the fact that you are different and you're different for a reason, right? Um, I feel like, taking the time to slow down and to experience yourself from this neutral space, right? Where it's like, okay, I'm a unique being. I'm here for a reason, right? I have this gift to share with the world. And again, slowing down and coming and looking at yourself from this neutral space, right? I feel like how do I word this? It's like, I feel like it could potentially help you, right, to move out of this energy of kind of being obsessed with how you appear to the physical world, if that makes any sense, right? Because it's I don't know why it's like appearances. I don't know what that's about, but it's like, look, I'm just different. I'm just different. That's all, right? I'm just different, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's interesting too because the Son of Pentacles or the Knight of Pentacles is, um, a Virgo card based on what I've learned. It's a Virgo card, right? And so it's in the reverse here, which says you're not being fully who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like finding balance between that, slowing down and finding balance and finding the meaning in who you are, I feel like, could help to flip that around. Let's take a look at what you need to know to start the year off in alignment. You do have here halls of a mentee initiation, secrets revealed, treasures uncovered, and initiations. Yeah, secrets revealed, Virgo. This is a literal, like, whether these are secrets like that you've been keeping from yourself or you've been keeping from other people, whatever it is, like I feel like it's time to bring these parts of yourself to the surface. I feel like it's time, excuse me, to bring these parts of yourself to your own attention and to the attention of other people, and to share these parts of yourself with people. You are unique for a reason, right? You are a treasure in your being. Like, you as a being are a treasure, right? And I feel like there's something here about discovering that about yourself and understanding that about yourself, and the fact that you experience things the way that you do, right? It's like there's a treasure in that. There's a treasure in who you are, and experiencing that, or expressing that, and not being afraid of that is likely part of your purpose, right? And it's probably been something that you've been pushing down. And then, so, there's kind of like this uh how do I word this? It's like you can't really get into your soul purpose and your mission because you're not fully aligned. Like, you're trying to push down these parts of yourself, and so you're not putting that out into the world, and those people who are meant to connect with you in order to experience that part of you are not able to find you, right? Because you're not dealing with it. You also have your sword of light, divine protection, cords cut, and breakthrough energy. Yeah. So again, right, I feel like these secrets revealed, this breakthrough energy comes from, I feel like, you allowing yourself to set yourself free from these, I don't even know what it is. Like, if it's society, if it's just programming and how you grew up, or trauma, or what, but that's, caused you to believe that, you should be pushing parts of yourself down, or fighting against the fact that you're emotional and that you can't handle everything. And right, like, I just feel like that's where that breakthrough energy comes through. I feel like that's where those cords are cut. I feel like that's where, these secrets are revealed, again, is in diving into the mud and muck of yourself, and being okay with what you find there, and being okay with other people seeing what you find there, right? That's where I feel like that's where your treasure's at. I really do. Yeah, yeah, you have the Ace of Cups. These are new feelings. Like I've been saying this whole time, you are an emotional being, right? For some of you, there's this element of secrets being revealed, and this breakthrough energy being that of, like, your intuition, right? Like, new things coming in and following your intuition. And I feel like that could really get you off on the right foot for 2023, right? Is by following your intuition, trusting the things that you find, because I feel like or the things that come through for you, right? Because I feel like it could lead you to, like, a breakthrough of sorts, right? But for the most part, I'm really picking up on the fact that I feel like this is about experiencing emotions that you've been trying to push down, right? And I feel like it's like revealing secrets to yourself and to other people. But more than anything, Virgo, I feel like this is a month of, like, self-discovery for you, right? I feel like this is more of a month of an internal job. It doesn't feel so much so like the focus is going to be on the fact that you're pushing these things down affects your external world, which it absolutely does. But I feel like it's just more so of focusing on what it means for you and how that impacts you, and how that can show up in your reality, and then learning how to acknowledge and navigate those feelings and those emotions, and healing them, right? And I feel like that's where, again, where some of that breakthrough energy comes in. Let's take a look at opportunities you have for expansion. You have halls of learning here, spirit guides, confirmation, great lessons. So Virgo, let me just share with you that when I created this tarot spread, I did so with the intention of using that word precisely, opportunities. Why? Because they're just that. They're opportunities. Either you're going to see them and take advantage of them, or you're not. And if you're not looking or you're not paying attention, it is likely that you will miss it. Okay? Again, it's an opportunity, right? So it's kind of like you got to be in the right place at the right time with your eyes open in order to see it. Okay? So again, we're talking about holes of learning here, spirit guides, confirmation, great lessons. So what do you have the opportunity for? You have the opportunity to learn a shit ton about yourself, which is what I was just saying, right? What I was just saying. And I think a big part of that, Virgo, is understanding that some of the things that you've experienced that have caused you, or you've felt have caused you, great trauma, great pain, great suffering, great loss, great disappointment. Those things, with those things come great lessons, Virgo. If you let yourself feel what you need to, learn what you need to, navigate it, and let it go, right? You don't hold on to the experience, right? Like how do I word this? You don't hold on to the pain, you don't hold on to the experience, right? I mean, we do, of course, but that's not what you're supposed to be doing. What you're supposed to be doing is experiencing the things, good, bad, ugly, everything in between. Learning about yourself and the surrounding world through that experience, right? Taking that knowledge, integrating it into your being, and moving on, right? You're not meant to be carrying the thing, right? You're not meant to. You're not meant to sit in it. You're not meant to put it in your backpack, right? What you learned, you're meant to be putting in your backpack. And that's what I feel is another thing that's going on here is like, right? Like the lesson is what you're meant to be carrying, not, I don't know how to word it. It's like you're meant to be carrying the diploma, not all the books. Does that make sense? Right? So like, for example, when you go to university to get a degree and you graduate, you don't keep carrying all the fucking books with you. Right? For all the classes, all the papers, all the things you need. No, you don't. You have the fucking diploma. That's what you carry with you. Right? You carry the title. And that's kind of how I'm seeing this, right? Is like you have an opportunity for expansion here by understanding that the lessons are just that. They're lessons, right? Don't keep carrying the book that taught you the lesson. Carry what you've learned from the book, right? I don't know. That's how I'm seeing it. You also have here Daniel. You also have here crystal skull, wisdom, clarity, divine healing, and high vibrational energy. So you have the opportunity to heal deeply, Virgo, this month, right? By acknowledging these things, gaining clarity on them, taking what you can, and moving on, releasing some of this lower vibrational frequency that's wrapped up in the traumatic experiences or the wounding, putting that down and letting that higher vibrational frequency come in, right? So you have an opportunity, again, to gain clarity. You have an opportunity to heal. But it's just that. Are you going to be willing to take it by seeing the lessons for what they are? You also have here the Eight of Swords in the reverse. And you know what this is about? This is about you essentially accepting who you are, right? Seeing yourself from a new perspective and freeing yourself from these things that you've been carrying that have been sitting on your shoulders, weighing you down, causing you to slouch, right? And I want to lovingly say, like, again, I'm not a doctor, but if you've been having a whole crap ton of shoulder pain, it's what it is. It's what it is. I'm just saying. Just saying. Obviously, go seek help from a medical professional, if you feel necessary. But this is literally about you accepting yourself for who you are. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that this is one of those, that's just the way I am and that's how it's going to be. No, that's a cop out. That's somebody who's not taking accountability for themselves. Just making that very clear, right? It's about accepting the fact that you are, like I said, a feeling sensitive being. Right? Accepting the fact that you've experienced some things that have been traumatic, right? Accepting the fact that you maybe haven't navigated them as best as you could have, but you've learned a lot in moving through this the way that you have. Right? It's not about guilt. It's not about shame. It's not about punishment. It's not about none of that. Like, we're not putting down other burdens to pick new ones up. No, it's, I didn't know what I didn't know. Now that I know that, I'm going to move on. Right? I'm going to look at things from a different perspective, and I'm going to free myself from this limited way of thinking now that I have this new perspective. And the star in reverse. So here's the thing. I feel like some of you have felt like hopeless, have had no faith, like things are not going to get better, right? That I don't know why, that's like the biggest thing I keep hearing, like things are not going to get better. I don't know how to make this better. I feel like you've lost some hope, right? I feel like you've lost faith. I feel like some of you just feel like, again, I feel like you feel like you're being punished, right? There's like this discouragement, like I've just given up, right? And I feel like that's an opportunity for you to expand. It's an opportunity for you to heal. Why are you giving up? Why do you feel like you're in this position? Why have you lost faith? What can you do to remedy it? What is the solution? What is the path? Right? Yeah. I mean, I just feel like some of you have lost hope. Like now there's this insecurity in yourself. Because again, I feel like, here's the thing, Virgo, I feel like some of you have been carrying this thing and you're like, this is the only way that I can survive. This is the only way that I can get through it. And I feel like you're discovering that while that could be true to a degree, you're still fucking suffering. Right? And so I feel like there's this like whole mind fuck going on in your head where you're like, I'm going to keep carrying this, but it's not bringing you relief. And then you still try to keep carrying it, right? Because you're like, oh, if I don't, then it's going to get worse, but it's not making things any better. And so there's some part of you that's critical. And, it's like, oh, well, you're carrying it and you're still not making shit better. Why don't you pick up some more shit? Maybe you're not carrying enough. Right? So it's like, I just feel like there's that energy of like, keep adding things to the load. And it's like your opportunities for expansion come when you free yourself from that, accept the fact that you're not meant to be carrying all this stuff, and that there is hope if you choose to take the opportunity to gain clarity and to allow yourself to heal. Right? So what does your soul want you to know, Virgo? You have here Shambhala initiations, retreating to recharge, trusting in the process, and Dharma, right? Dharma is that unfolding of your life path. And here's the thing, Virgo, right? I feel like your soul is saying, trust what you like. No, it hasn't been easy. No, it hasn't always been fun. No, it hasn't been a walk in the park. Yes, it's been kind of shit from time to time. But here's the thing, Virgo. All of those things have unfolded for you to learn something. And I want to be super honest with you because I've experienced this myself. There are things that you're meant to, again, experience, learn, move on. Right? So while there could be initial pain or suffering, right? Because that's kind of like the cross you bear. There may be that initially. Right? But then once you move past that, it's so much like the suffering is, how do I word it? It's like minimal in comparison to what you gain. But if you're carrying the suffering continuously, it's like the lesson doesn't even, it's how do I word it? You like lose the lesson because you're so focused on the pain, so focused on the suffering. And so then the lesson kind of becomes obsolete because you've been carrying this pain and the suffering for God knows how long, when you maybe were only supposed to carry it for like, I don't know, a couple of days. Right? So it's like soul saying, trust the process. Like this is the unfolding of your life, and the things that you've experienced, the things that you've learned are for you. And maybe you don't see that right now. Maybe you won't even see it 5 years from now, but there may come a day when you run into a situation where you have exactly, and you know exactly what needs to be done or said because you've been through it. And you could potentially help someone else or be of service to someone or some situation that's you has more weight than you can imagine. Right? You don't know that. You may not ever know that. But everything happens for a reason. And that's what your soul wants you to know. Trust the process. Trust that this is the unfolding of your life, and that retreating to recharge, Virgo, I feel applies 100. Because I do feel like there's an element of you needing to get quiet with yourself and to really hear yourself. You also have here, I am presence, light body activation, accessing the divine within. So what does your soul want you to know? Well, you're being activated, first of all, and second of all, the fact that you're a child of the divine. You're a child of the creator. For me, I call it God. Maybe you call it creator. Maybe you call it source. Maybe you call it father, mother, life, which is also a reference that I use. Maybe you call it, I don't know. I don't know what you would call it. Whatever your name is for it is irrelevant to me, right? But whatever that is, you have a facet of that within you. You have access to that facet of yourself at all times. And this is about you stepping into that, right? I'm going to read this part for you as well, just the message, because there are several sections to each interpretation of each card, but I'm only reading the messages to you. So just want to clarify that for you. It says here, right? And remember, this is what your soul wants you to know. You are experiencing a great shift. That's a word that keeps showing up for you, which is helping you to understand yourself in ways that were previously impossible. Like I said, this is an exciting time. You are connecting with the highest form of intelligence within you. The body of light within you is growing brighter, and you are becoming aware of how your actions and choices affect the unfolding of your future. The bright light you are expressing, or oh my gosh, I read that wrong or like all backwards every single time. I feel like there's like a comma missing or something. Give me a second, you guys. It says, the bright light you are is expressing itself unapologetically. Right? So again, it's being exactly who you are. Like I said, your soul is saying, like, this is what we're meant to be doing right now. And yeah, here's the other crazy wild thing about this is you also have the Seven of Swords here, and it's in the reverse. And the Seven of Swords in the reverse is about coming clean and rethinking your approach, trying a new tactic or strategy. Coming clean with yourself, Virgo. Swords is that mental energy, and you have a lot of it here, right? You have the Sword of Light. You also have the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Swords, right? This is about you overcoming your mind, right? Rethinking your tactic, your strategy, because it's not working. What does God want you to remember or keep in mind this month? Wow, yeah. Okay, so I'm getting fear. Okay. I feel like, so you have, this card's interesting to me and how it's showing up for you, because I don't know that I've ever actually had it show up this way. So we have here Venusian Galactic Council, star being guides, answer the call, time to shine. And what I'm really picking up here is God wants you to remember to answer the call, in the sense of the call may not always look like, hey, Clark Kent, we need Superman. Okay. No, what it might look like, Virgo, is answering the call in the sense of these things are coming up. You're experiencing these things, which may feel like it's persistent and, like you don't get a chance to breathe, right? Which in tarot, we would call that like a tower moment, right? Is when essentially God pulls the rug out from underneath you so that you can see that shit's not working, right? And I to the best of my knowledge, I cannot recall ever getting a message like this for this card. But it's saying you're experiencing these things for a reason. right? Remember me saying in the beginning that all of this weight you've been carrying is smothering you. It's squishing you. It's smothering or snuffing your light out, right? It's time for you to shine. So answer the call. Allow yourself to deal with the things that you need to deal with, the things that keep showing up, so that you can move on from them and step into who you're supposed to be. Right? It is your time to shine, to share the light that you are, the unique individual that you are with the world. And I feel like this is what God wants you to keep in mind, right? Like, in order to experience something different, you have to be willing to do something different. You also have here Emerald Tablet Activation, Cosmic Ordering, Divine Alchemy, and Conscious Manifesting. You cannot make this shit up, Virgo. Because I was just speaking on alchemizing situations, right? Moving through them and seeing what you've been able to learn through the pain and suffering so that you can utilize it as a tool. And I feel like this is the message that God's bringing through here, is like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Again, feeling the things, experiencing them, learning what you can from them, and moving on. Right? Alchemizing. I also feel like with this cosmic ordering here, God's saying, like, or wants you to remember, nothing comes from nothing. Right? You've been put in these situations. You've had these experiences for a reason. Now, you could have been carrying them far longer than what you needed to, but in all reality, if we look at it in the grand scheme of things, that nothing comes from nothing, it's likely that you've been carrying them for as long as you have, because you've had to learn what it can do to you if you carry it, right? It's all lessons in itself. And if you can see that and alchemize the situations, I feel like there's this opportunity for you to not only heal, but to grow. And to embrace, exactly like it says up here, embrace the unique, beautiful being that you are. Let's take a look at what the tarot has to say. The Empress in reverse. I mean, here's the thing. Empress in the reverse is essentially like, first of all, like, let me just say, the Empress in the upright, right, is the archetype of the mother. This is somebody who is, it's got this very like Venusian type of energy, right? So it's like beautiful. What is the other words I'm kind of looking for here? Very balanced, harmonious, right, type of energy. In the reverse, it's like out of balance, out of balance, out of harmony, right? This is also like blocked creativity, blocked fertility, these sorts of things, right? And when I say fertility, I'm not just speaking about like the conception of children. I'm talking about like fertile in ideas, fertile in new experiences, opportunities, like things showing up in your reality. Fertile for experiencing beauty, right? Like, I feel like there's this inability also, yes, thank you, Lord, this inability to see beauty in the world as well, right? So it's like, if you're carrying around all this pain and this suffering, like, it's really hard to see, or rather to look around and see things to be, or see things that you would interpret as beautiful, right? It's very difficult. And as somebody who experienced like physical pain for an extended period of time, it is so fucking hard to be in pain, whether that, and it doesn't matter if it's emotional or physical, either way. But just to bring it into like the physical world, as somebody who experienced physical pain for years after a car accident and surgeries, it is something that where it's so hard to see the good in the world when you are in pain. It's so hard. And I think this is part of what God is reminding you of. Like, And it's fascinating AF, right? Because again, you have this Venusian Galactic Council and you have the Empress, and the Empress is Venusian energy, right? So this also could mean something for you. Maybe this has something to do with a Taurus for some of you. But I mean, more than anything, really, I'm just picking up on the fact that it's very difficult to see beauty in the world and to express, this like, or let me rephrase. It's very difficult to see beauty in the world and to be in a harmonious state of being, right? When you are in pain. So I feel like this is what God's saying, like, answer the call. Deal with it so you don't have to keep living this way and missing out on all of the beauty that life has to offer. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You cannot make this shit up. You can't. You freaking can't. Because you have the Tower showing up. And it's in the reverse. And the Tower in the reverse, you guys, is avoidant energy. It's fear of change. It's fear of suffering. I love you guys, Virgo, but I really feel like God is like literally calling you out. If this resonates with you, God is calling you out right now. It's like you're avoiding what needs to be done because you're afraid of the suffering, you're afraid of the pain. But sweets, I have to tell you that you are creating more pain and suffering for yourself than what you think you are. And as a matter of fact, it's like you're carrying it far longer. And I feel like God is calling you out, saying it's time to put these things down. It's time to face these things, to answer the call and to alchemize these situations. It's like God saying, I am bringing this to you because it needs to be handled right now, this month. And like, before we wrap up here, I want to say to you, Virgo, like, it may have come off as me being harsh or rash or whatever. But I feel like this is the way this message is being delivered is how it's supposed to be delivered. Right? I feel like there is a beautiful and incredible opportunity here for you, Virgo, to like, I almost see it as like phasing into yourself, which is really odd for me to see it in that way. I've never seen anything in that way before. But it's like essentially like marrying the facets of yourself by accepting yourself fully. And I feel like in doing that, like, the world will get to see a part of you that I don't even know you knew existed. And I feel like it could be this incredibly beautiful, profound thing. Because I feel like it could really change the way you see the world and the way you see yourself in the world. And I feel like that's incredibly powerful, especially as we move through this year. 2023, you guys, is a universal 7-year, one of reflection, introspection, analyzing self, right? It's also about that spiritual growth and how you apply what you learn to that growth, right? It's also a year that I picked up on in my membership readings of like soul sovereignty and freedom. And you have that here with the Eight of Swords, right? It's freeing ourselves from the things that are weighing us down, the things that are preventing us or limiting us or hindering us from stepping fully into our power, into who we're supposed to be, into our soul purpose, into our soul mission, right? And to shine out in the world how we're supposed to. Now, I'm not saying that's something that is necessarily a big, huge public platform. You may just be shining so fucking bright in your own little corner of the world that you're sending out these incredible ripples to the rest of us. Regardless of how big or small you feel your impact is, or whatever your purpose is, right? I just feel like this is about you coming home to yourself. And I feel like it's in doing so, if you take that opportunity, I feel like life could feel significantly different for you. I really hope that something here has resonated for you, Virgo, or has helped you to navigate this month in some way, shape, or form. I want to thank you so, so, so very much for joining me. I truly do appreciate your time and your energy. It's been an absolute pleasure to read for you. If you have found that something in this reading has resonated for you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting below, or smashing that subscribe button. It really does help the channel to grow. It tells YouTube that there may be something here for someone else to see that could be valuable, and so they push it out to more people to view, and I really, really do appreciate that, because I would love for whoever needs to see this to have the opportunity to do so. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I pray your January is full of bravery, courage, strength, belief, hope, and faith in who you are and what you're doing here. Take care of your beautiful, beautiful soul. Remember that you have absolutely got this, and God's got you. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.